Hello, Cancer. Thank you for tuning in. This is the love segment for Cancer. For the main read, I'm going to use the Morgan Greer Tarot for the tarot card by Paul Foster Case and Arthur Edward Waite. And for the supportive oracle cards, I'm going to use the Romance Angel cards by Doreen Virtue. I only pull these out as they seem necessary. I don't force them out. And I notice not every read, every portion do they come out. The first half is for relationships. The second half is for single people. So let's go ahead and get to it. Okay. A lot of communication going on here. And this is Cancer. So I feel like you're the one who starts off with this communication. No. Alright, so this whole situation, I feel like you're starting with the communication, but your partner's kind of holding back. And the way this starts off, I feel like you're kind of giving, like, you have the Page of Swords with the, and then the other person has the Four of coins, pentacles. I'm feeling like the communication might be half-hearted. Ideas or thoughts you might want to do, or things you're not really sure about. I feel like you're trying to get them to communicate back with you, and you're trying to take a half-hearted approach to it because you're trying to get them to tell you some more things or to engage with you more. And I don't feel like they're doing that. I feel like they're holding back, but not like in the sense of they don't want to talk to you. I feel like they don't want to talk. I feel like they just are in that mood where they just don't want to talk. I feel like you might have more of an earth energy you're dealing with here in the sense of they're just kind of clamming up at the moment. Now, that being said, let's go into what's holding the situation back. The bottom card is yours, the top card is theirs. This is what's holding the situation back. So, your card is the Devil, their card is the Temperance. They're just I feel like they're biding their time and they're thinking things through. I feel like they're trying to analyze things and they're trying to decide what they want to do, or they're trying to look at the situation as a whole to understand what exactly is going on. The Devil on your side makes me feel like you're kind of stuck and you want things to start moving forward. You want some communication. There's a lot of wants on your side that you're not getting met. And you're feeling like that you're stuck and there's nothing you can do until they start telling you what's going on or they start communicating back. I feel like you're not getting a lot of cooperation in that sense and you're feeling a little annoyed with that, and you might have a couple moments where you kind of blow up about it. So this is what's holding the situation back. So they're kind of moving really slowly, they're holding back, they're clamming up, and it's aggravating you, and you're trying to get something to happen here, but the more you push, the more they clam up, is kind of how I feel. And the more they clam up, the more aggravated you get. It's kind of like this back and forth battle. I have to say, in the situation of what's holding back, I feel like because your card is more the active card, once you pull back and you just kind of step off and do some other stuff and just kind of leave them to themselves for a while, this starts to alleviate the energy. This starts to get things moving a little better. I'm also getting you're not seeing eye to eye about the situation as it is. What moves the situation forward in a good way, they start considering other options to fix the situation, but I feel like the communication, I feel like when they're ready to communicate, they're not only communicating, but they're already set in action at the same time. So they're communicating what they're going to do and what they need done. And I feel like it kind of puts you in this place where you're just kind of I either have to go along with it or I have to walk away from it. And that's kind of, I feel like that's where you are when they start moving forward and they start communicating what they're doing, because I feel like they didn't really involve you decision process. And they're just kind of moving forward, and you're just kind of like, well, either have to get on board or have to get off the wagon, one of the two. That being said, no matter what way you choose, I feel like you're going to feel like there's a lot of burdens here, and you're going to feel stuck. I'm feeling burdened, but carrying on with those burdens, feeling stuck. The spiritual energy here is like holding it together, but having a hard time holding it together. It's like the burdens. There's like I'm trying to make it so you can see these without the glare. This one here, especially, where it's just like the emotion, the spirituality of the situation, if you will. You're holding things together, you're keeping things together, but you're having a hard time holding them all. You're moving forward and you're carrying these burdens, but you're feeling like there's no other choice but to do so. And I feel like on their side, once they've decided what way they're going to go, they just plot ahead forward with it. They just keep going. They're doing what they want to do, and that's how it's going to be. And I almost feel like it may feel like it kind of moved forward quickly to you, but I feel like they were just setting it up the way they wanted to make it work out. The Queen of Rods in their spirituality section makes me feel like they are in complete control. They're moving it forward. They're going to do what they want to do. They're creating the situation based on what they want. Now, that being said, I just feel like this is very burdensome for you. So I want to see if I can get some like clarifiers or little advice cards, something to make the stress a little less intense for you, if at all possible. That came out upside down. Yep. Over there. All right. So the Devil card had the Honeymoon card pop out upside down right below it. You were not happy. You're trying to make things better though. I feel like the reason the Honeymoon card below this pops out is because you want it to be like this. You want things to be okay. You want things to move forward and just like, let's find some joy in the situation. Let me help you and we can have a good time, or like make the best of it. You're trying to make the best of it. They're not going with it. They're just not. I feel like on their side they're having an insecurity moment, which wouldn't be shocking for this card. But it's safe for you to love. I feel like they're just feeling like they're exposed and they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to deal with it. They don't want to hash it out with someone else. They just want to go over it themselves and think through themselves what they want to do. It's very closed. Oh, excuse me. It's very closed. I am noticing this. This is where you're starting off. You're trying to have some playful communication, I feel. You're trying to get them to talk. You're just trying to open the doors. You're trying to do things that they like just so they're more conducive with talking to you. And I feel like you're not being forward about what you want to talk about. I feel like you might be trying to start conversations in that arena in a roundabout way to get them to talk, but I don't feel like it's falling flat. And I feel like this is working against you because I feel like they know you well enough to realize what you're doing, and it's really causing a block on their side because they feel like they're kind of being manipulated a little bit, and it's becoming a problem, which is causing more of the shutdown. I think, especially on your side, I feel like just holding still and letting them talk on their terms is the only thing I can see that would actually help this move forward a little easier. Because I feel like the more you push, the more resistance you get. Even if you try to be more playful and let's just have a good time, I feel like they know you well enough, because I feel like it might be your thing to kind of like calm people down, get them to relax. You might have had this happen with them a few times, and then you just kind of get in there and try to help. And they've decided they don't want that to happen this time. They're feeling a little insecure about the situation and they want to fix it themselves. They want to have complete control of it. Now, when it comes back to the spirituality part of the burdens and carrying these burdens, the children card did come up for this card, which means for some of you, it's flat out, there's a child connection here, children connection. There's a family connection where you're kind of feeling like you have to go along with your partner because of the established situation and that you have no choice but to keep going forward. You're feeling maybe, I feel like some of you might feel like you're being treated like a child in the sense of the other person is not letting you help them with this situation. They're not considering your opinion, your voice, your input, and you're feeling like they're treating you like a child. It's one of the two I'm feeling for the majority of you. Now, the last thing I got here before I move on from the couples section, when you have this choice to move forward or to just let them do what they want on their own, I feel like this is the time when you can express how you feel about the situation. And this is the part where no matter which way you choose to go, I feel like this is the part where you need to express why you're choosing which way and how you feel about what's going on. I feel like they're still on the dedicated path and they're going to do what they're going to do, but whether you choose to or not to go through with it, I feel like expressing how you feel, this is the best time for you to get your point across and to have the most effect. Okay. So I feel like the point of this is that the other person isn't going to talk until they want to. I feel like there's a very stubborn energy on that side. Like they're not going to talk till they want to, and then they've decided that they need to fix it. They want total control of it, and they want to make that decision on their own. I just feel like they feel like they own the situation and that they need to fix it, and that's why they're doing it that way. I feel like the children card also might be here because they might have children from a previous relationship, and because that they're the actual parent, they feel like they need to make the decision and that they can't involve you in the decision-making process. Which I feel like you're like, that's not fair because I care about them too, and it's not like I'm looking to hurt anybody. I just want to make sure that all bases are covered so that they can have the best future possible. So there's a little bit of a conflict here, but it does keep coming back. Like there's a stubborn energy on that side. Like the more you push, the more they resist. And I feel like you might have to do things that pull you away from the situation for a while, just so you can have a breather. Because I feel like stepping away and maybe having some time with your friends or family, or doing other things that aren't really connected with them so much. I feel like even like if you try to hang out with them, but stay away from the subject, it still doesn't work. Because I feel like they just feel like you're just buttering them up, so that they have a moment where they'll spill the beans, but they won't do that. And even like trying to have couple time with them isn't working out in your favor. They're just taking it the wrong way. So you might have to step away, hang out with other family members, do things on your own, maybe get involved in some of your own personal hobbies, something with friends, just so you can have a breather. And just, I guess at this point you have to realize they're going to make their own decision and move forward. But once they do and they communicate it to you, that is your moment to like express how you feel about what they did, the decision-making process, how you feel about it. That is your moment. Because like when they're communicating towards you and they're already moving forward, I feel like it's best to realize they've already made their decision and that's how it's going to play out. But when they're communicating, this is your chance to communicate back and say, this is how I feel about what you did, and I understand that it was your decision to make, but we're in this together and you can at least hear me out. I'm not saying you have to do what I tell you to do or anything like that, but you still, I have the right to be heard and you should still hear me out. That type of thing. Okay. That being said, I think we're bringing the couples section to a close. And let's go on to the singles. Alright, so we're going to put these together real quick. So single cancers. Single cancer. All right, single Cancer. But something's a little interesting here because you're standing in the position of love and strength. But as I'm looking at the situation, I feel like you might be caught up in an on-again, off-again situation. I'm just going to flip these around a little bit. I'm not sure if we're going to pull these out, but I just want to make sure we mix them up a little bit before I come back to them. All right, so something came your way, communication came your way, and you had a good moment with whoever this is. It could have been like a weekend or a vacation type thing, something like that. But I feel like it was short-lived. Now there seems to be some distance again. Right now, you're with the card of burdens here. This is carrying your burdens, moving forward, not letting go of the emotion, wanting things to start up again, wanting to have this person in your life again, but not really having that connection that you want. And the Seven of Cups means that your thoughts are all-encompassing on this. You can't seem to put down the thought. That being said, Ace of Cups pops up in your future again. I feel like whatever this moment was in the past, something similar repeats, and you have a good moment again with this person. And you're very much loving the time with them, having a good time, whatever it is, which could be very physical in nature. If it's that happening again, it's a repeat. But you're very happy and fulfilled in the moment. The moment is good. You're in the sense of like you're really enjoying the moment. Okay. That being said, your end outcome is the Five of Pentacles with the Hanged Man. I feel like you end up right back where you were, as in where you are now, holding these burdens, feeling for this person, but I feel like at this point it's more, like if it wasn't obvious to begin with, it's more painfully obvious at this point that this is on again, off again. There's some type of conflict that's keeping you apart from this person. And you're starting to see the situation like this has been a waste. Like nothing's going to come of it, but you're kind of caught up in it emotionally and you're not sure what to do about that because your emotions are already in this with this person. I feel like you have strong feelings for them. You're standing in the lover's position where you have a lot of feelings. You really want this to work out, but it's not seeming to happen. But you're trying to endure it. At least in the beginning part when this starts, when you're holding your burdens, you're feeling if you just hold on long enough, it will go your way. But I'm not really thinking that's how this is going to go. Because I feel like you have the Four of Swords here, and you have the Eight of Cups here as well as to how this is going to resolve itself. In other words, nothing changes, and you're finally, at some point, just going to move on when you realize nothing is going to change. Something is going on with them. There's things that there's somebody they're tied to or some situation they're tied to that they feel like you don't fit into. Either you don't fit into their life the way they'd want you to, or they're tied to someone else and they can't move forward with this and they're not going to leave who they're with. One of the two. Some of them I feel like are single, but they're very comfortable being single, and they are emotionally unavailable in the sense of like they don't want somebody in their life full time. So the momentary now and then thing, that's all they want. And the more emotionally connected or attached to them you get, the less likely they are to hang out with you because they don't want a relationship. I feel like this is someone who's just they're not open to the relationship thing with you. And I feel like at the end result of this situation, especially with the Hanged Man, like you have the Five of Pentacles there. I feel like you're kind of licking your wounds and you're realizing you're just kind of like, I'm just stuck here looking and watching and there's nothing I can do to move on from this. There's nothing I can do to move this situation forward. and it's really hard for you to let go. So you don't really want to move on from it at this point, but it's kind of getting painfully obvious that the situation really doesn't have any longevity and isn't really going to accumulate to anything in the long run. I feel for some of you there is an age difference. Be you the older or the younger one, but the other person is seeing like this isn't something that they want to create a life with. They're enjoying the moment, and that's all they want from it. I'm getting, again, it's really not, they're not really conducive with the relationship. They're enjoying the moment, and they're thinking that should be enough. They're not interested in a relationship. I really feel that more and more as we go forward with this. Are there any other clarifiers? I feel like we touched on everything, because I feel like this is going to be an on again, off again. It's already happened once. Your heart's already in it. You're holding on, hoping, maybe, if I just get to see him again, maybe I can change their mind. And I feel like when you are together, it's really good. But once this passes, you're back to the burdens. And I feel like it's more painful the next time around when you realize, you know what? This person only wants me around for a good time, but doesn't really want to know me or really be in a relationship with me. But my heart's into it. It just doesn't seem to matter. And I do feel like once you realize that there's no moving forward on this situation, that you're going to kind of move on from it and you're going to kind of do your best to cut ties. I feel like the more emotionally connected you are to them, or the more you express how you feel about them, the more distant they become anyway. So it might not be that hard to kind of move on from them once you decide. I feel like when you get to this end part, it's just to that spot where you're like, do I want to communicate with them that I don't want to see them anymore? Because I know once I do that, I won't see them anymore and I won't be able to turn it around. And even though you're realizing it's an on again, off again only for fun for them, the way you feel about them, you're questioning, is that enough for now? Or should I do what's best for me and just end it and move on? And you're kind of in that spot. Okay. All right, I'm going to end this here because I feel like we got the message across with that. Of course, if you want a reading from me, go ahead, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you for watching.